Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was admitted to the hospital on Saturday and diagnosed with dehydration, according to his office, which also said the 73-year-old leader was experiencing dizziness but was in good condition. He is staying there overnight, though there was no indication of a potential handover of power. Netanyahu's potential absence raised questions as the country deals with a crisis over a planned judicial overhaul, as well as simmering conflicts with the Palestinians and Iran. He moved to calm worries by issuing a brief video message reportedly from his hospital room near Tel Aviv. In it, he says he feels well and advises those watching to, quote, spend less time in the sun, drink more water, and may we all have a good new week. Netanyahu, Israel's longest-serving leader, said he had been on holiday at the Sea of Galilee on Friday during a heat wave. Temperatures there reached 108 degrees Saturday. His office said Netanyahu was admitted on his physician's recommendation after complaining of light dizziness, and initial tests came back normal. The Prime Minister's office said Sunday's scheduled cabinet meeting would instead be moved to Monday. Meanwhile, thousands of Israelis continued to hit the streets to protest the proposed changes to the country's judiciary, which they fear will limit court independence. Netanyahu, who is on trial for corruption charges that he denies, says the reforms would balance out branches of government.
The US and Russia are dangerously close to an armed conflict. This year, 2023, New Delhi will be the capital of global diplomacy. For a country as diverse as ours, with 88% of the population illiterate, it was a very big deal to write a constitution, and that too, the world's largest. Meanwhile, if we may, here's a Republic Day gift from India for the BBC. A list of suggestions for the BBC for their upcoming documentaries. Number 1, the Kohinoor and the colonial loot. Number 2, an outdated monarchy and unhealthy obsession with the royals. Number 3, racism in 2023. We're waiting. Email exchanges from inside the BBC, they talk about the risk of violating Indian laws. It's easier to rake up the freedom of speech debate, but does it give anyone a free pass to knowingly violate the law? America supports India because it needs India's support in return. And India is working with the US because it suits India's interests. This is how geopolitics works. Last night, he diffused a crisis with his defense minister. But today, Netanyahu was confronted with a new problem. His cabinet seems to have rebelled against him. The UK is looking at the Indian subcontinent to fill its coffers. That India seems to be negotiating from a position of power, like a partner and not a former colony.